Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, and starting with the DAX here. And our primary count is still in place here with from wave B to wave C here, moving up into this little box here, which is our 50 and 61.8% retracement level. And once that's completed, we'll be looking for a move lower through here. Now, okay, let's just cruise into that. So on a 4-hour chart here, we're looking at from wave B here low to wave C here of B. We're looking for 5 waves up, and we've counted as 1 and 2 and 3, A, B, C for 4, and then we're looking for this move up through here as wave 5. So in that particular instance, I can just borrow these here as wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 of C of B. So we're still looking for one little more move up. Now, we were looking at, being prepared for a short trade as well, and that would have played out on the low of wave 2 here, or the 12,500 here as a retested resistance. So we don't have that, and we'll still be looking for further upside here 2 hours. This is a slightly degree smaller, but basically the same count. This was a green wave that you see in the last one, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we still need to, yes I can. So we still need to push up here to make highs above these highs coming across here. So we still need to move up higher. So we'll be looking, 12,800 is such a nice number. Along the way here, other numbers that are important here is let's just get rid of that for a moment. The next important number, 600 is important, 700 is important, as I always say, but 12,650 is more important. If I can just get that somewhere close in there, that will do. That's a really significant number at that point there. So if that becomes support, then we can look at 12.8 being the target. There is another target area in here. Like I said, the 700 is important, but the 12,720 is important in here, 720. So 72 number there. So one step at a time. If trade up to the 12,650, if that becomes, expect a correction there, corrective pattern, allow it to mature. It's got to migrate, so migrating is like this is resistance here, 12.5, isn't it? And then it has its classical trading levels pattern here, the correction, and then it finds support on it. So it moves from resistance to support, and that's what, on a smaller scale, that's what you need to expect in here as well. So yeah, look, just a little further of a push up here. Let's see how we go with that. And the AEX is the same as well here. On the hourly chart, I have recounted this here because we were looking for 5 waves up as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, back for 4 here, and moving up for wave 5. It's dropped lower here, so it's left me to ponder this particular previous pattern here in terms of an A wave to here, and then an A and a B and a C wave to here for the B wave, and then all of this is a C wave down here. Now, I could certainly be wrong with that count. It doesn't matter because we're still looking at this market moving higher here, making highs above these previous highs here. So yeah, look for support on, or little correctional pattern on all the 5s here. 555 will play out. Then the next resistance is number 8, and then 60 at that point here. So yeah, this is not finished. In fact, it's a really nice support on this midpoint here, on this 50 now, isn't there? It's like a final test here before this power move comes in. So yeah, still a little bit of upside there, and the same with the FTSE as well here. So I thought we may have had a top in place here already, and we were looking to short, but we never really got our short trade set up. So we could have used this move down through here as such. So first high above the level, so a move down through here, and then the retest back up here, and then that would have become the trigger here. So that would have been the trigger here, under here. If that had failed the retest and moved down from that point, that's why it didn't pan out, but that's why it's nice and safe using this method. Simple but effective most of the time. So we need to look higher in line with the other markets now as well. We can't short, even though we're looking for a top, we can't short this market until we get this number here as a retested resistance. And in this case, we can expect new highs as well. This does look like a 5-wave structure. This does look like a 3-wave structure, and this looks like a 5-wave structure. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So this going at the top here is a little bit high risk. So we can just also make a little high up here and then come down here as well. So be mindful of that situation. The other thing that I wanted to point out here too is that it's possible for further upside here as well in terms of, I'm not sure if I use the 2-hour chart or 4-hour chart. I can use this 4-hour chart here. So this is how I was looking at this market. So wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then up for 5 here for the third wave. So no problems with that. But it does appear that we're getting some sort of extension in this market here, in this structure here. I'll just see if I've got, oh okay, I've got those, that's good. So this is the other count here that could play out now as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 up here further, going even further up here. So that that plays out. We also would need to, if we need to really rely on the S&P 500 and the DAX for these moves. Now, coming back to, well, I just want to go to the S&P 500 for a second here. So, I mean, it's nice to look at if we've got things wrong. This is an alternative count for the DAX, for the S&P 500. So wave 3 up here, an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and an E wave finishing here. In fact, the E wave could also finish over here, as this is an A and a B and a C wave here. We are looking at this like this here as well. So any move further up into this space here, then this would help confirm that we've got a triangle pattern here, rather than this particular daily chart pattern here that we've got with more of a bearish count here with an A wave here, B wave here, then 1 and 2 and a third wave and a fourth wave and a fifth wave. So we're also playing it out at this number here, the 2650, the same number I was just talking about before, the 650 number, 50. So yeah, in a session or two, we'll know which side we're on this level here, and if we need to be short or long here. But there are those two counts, one bullish, one bearish, and they play out right in here. So it does tend to leave us to understand, well, what can the bullish count for these other markets be? So for the daily chart here for the FTSE, in fact, what I'll do for the FTSE is I'll just go back to the weekly or monthly. I'll just go to a monthly chart here. So this is a chart here. I really need to come out one more degree here with this, but it doesn't matter. Just for the fact of counting, we've got a wave 3 up here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Then wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 moving up here, and we're still looking for this particular correction here to play out and move up, but it can move up we're still looking for one more high up here. So we're looking for 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 here, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So when I go to the next chart, this wave 4 here will be sitting over here, and this one will be here. So I've got them coming out in one slightly different degree of structure, but it doesn't matter too much. So we've had this like this here, maybe I can just come, this is how we've got it counted so far here on this market here. So wave 3 up here, an A wave, an A and a B and a C wave up here, finishing soon here, and then coming down for wave C here. The other way to count this as well is that I'm sort of, this has been a bit of a tricky count within here. We can count this the way that I've got it here, or we can count this as slightly different. We can count this in a couple of different ways actually. So I'm just going to go back to the weekly chart here, and this is how it can count out here. So coming up here is 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, then an A wave here, a B wave over here, and then all of this down here as wave C here, and then we have our bullish marker. We move straight up from here. So very shortly we may have to turn bullish in here, but I don't want to do that without the S&P 500 and also the DAX as well. So when we're talking about the DAX, the bullish count for the DAX, if I can just come in here and finish this B to C off here, because I think that's important here. I don't know if I can do it from the daily chart. Yeah, I can do. So basically we can look at this as an A wave over here, ABC for the B wave here, and then this move down here as wave C, and it would pan out as 1 and 2 and 3 down here, and then an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave as a triangle here, and then down for wave 5 here. So that pans out, and that can do the same for the DAX as well here. So while I'm in here, we'll just go to the daily chart here, and that would play out here as we originally had it, with this wave 3 over here and wave 5 here, and this is an A wave here, a B wave here, then 1 and 2 in here, not that simple, but 3 here, an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave for a wave 4 triangle, and then down for wave 5, which makes sense. So this could certainly be bullish at this point. It certainly can have this as a wave 4 in play here and move further up here. But at the same time, we don't want to get lost in that. We want to be aware of both sides and both situations and play each one accordingly. But we do have to wait for this wave C to play out here in the 5-wave structure. And as I mentioned, we also need to allow the S&P 500 to play out here as well, either as the triangle or this more bearish pattern that's playing out in here. So if I go to 4-hour chart in here, we can see that we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 1 here, wave 2 here, then down for 1 and back for 2 here, and then it can come down from here. So we're getting very close, and we'll be using this 2650 area here because it's a balance line through this market here. It's a halfway point between two levels, 800, which is a minor trading level, and a medium trading level here. So it's always a balance point. Then we've got 700 and 600, always good with little tops and bottoms as turns. But this number here is always the balance line in here, a very unusual number, but it just plays out in all markets. So we want to see if this line here is going to become the support or the resistance. So anyway, you can watch the US videos to tune into that. So we're getting very close to either understanding if we're going to be going down further or going up higher. So we're just being a little bit patient, and the markets are a little bit volatile because of the US earnings seasons. So we need to take that into consideration as well. So a bit of wisdom and patience here to come out of this on the right side in due course. Alrighty, cheers, thanks.